Welcome to the Rotojoes Fantasy Football Podcast tonight, guys. Playoff preview. We have the off-season sad face. Kate, how many championships did you win?
No, none, actually. I'm in the financial red this fantasy season for the first time in a long time. I usually make at least the buy-in back, but couldn't happen this year.
This was a weird year, and we'll talk about it later, but there's a lot of weird stuff going on. So before we get to the playoffs, let's talk about head coaching candidates. We have 5 vacancies already opened. One for sure, New Orleans is keeping Dennis Allen for some reason. I don't know why. We have Carolina, Denver, Houston, Arizona, and Indianapolis all with openings. Right now as candidates, we have Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, Bieniemy, Ben Johnson, Steichen, DeMeco Ryans, a handful of worthy candidates. What job do you think is the most favorable of the 5? And why Harbaugh to Indianapolis?
I don't think Harbaugh's coming out. I don't foresee a realm of opportunity for him to. They're going to back up the fucking Brinks truck on that guy, and you know they are. I think the most favorable, as much as I hate to say it, is probably Indianapolis right now. Just because I feel like they have a lot more building blocks than some of these other teams do. They've got strong potential both sides of the ball at more than one position. So I think in the right situation, you could see a bounce back from Indianapolis next year. They got to address that quarterback situation, that offensive line. And I think those two things, you go out and spend big or, potentially even trade up in the draft and try to get Bryce Young. It's going to cost them a lot, but those are the really gleaming holes. Defense isn't terrible, but the quarterback plays dog shit and the offensive line is dog shit. And outside of that, you could be a playoff team if you address those.
How do you feel about Denver? I like Indianapolis. I guess I'll start here. I like Indianapolis. I feel like with Taylor, Pittman, the quarterback situation, I think gets addressed in the draft. I'm assuming Ballard just pays up and goes for the 101. Maybe they hold the 105 and grab Levis. I don't know. But the quarterback situation will be somewhat addressed. How do you feel about Denver?
You got to love the opportunity based off of paper. Just in my opinion, really loaded offense. They're not doing half bad on defense either. There's just I don't know. Are we seeing a point where Denver declines back into being a pile of dog shit? Because that's kind of the vibes I'm getting.
No, sir.
I don't know, man. You remember that decade of Kyle Orton and all them motherfuckers, and they really could never do anything. I don't know. It smells kind of funny. On paper, yeah, it's loaded both sides of the ball. I don't know their cap situation. No draft picks, so ultimately someone's just going to have to deal basically with what they get and hope to make a splash in free agency and address a few needs they do have. But that one's kind of smelling funny to me.
I think Sean Payton goes there. There's already reports that they've agreed to trade compensation, New Orleans and Denver. Russell Wilson, I know I sent this to you jokingly, but the more I think about it, he played Kansas City, and the Chargers in 3 out of his last 4 games and put up 24-plus points in each of those 3 games. That's pretty good. You can work with that. I don't think Russell is done, and I think if Sean Payton goes there, I think he'll be fine. The Walton family, they own Walmart. They have plenty of money. They have made it known that they are willing to spend big. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see Peyton there. I like Denver. I think Denver's going to be pretty good. Houston, where does Houston go? CJ Stroud might not even be draftable this year. But I think you were on the right track earlier on the text about Will Anderson. I think that the real prize is Caleb Williams next year.
Well, and here's my thing. Regardless of next year, I don't even really think about that right now. Here's the thing. Chicago is going to make it very expensive for someone to come get that pick, right? especially if CJ Stroud stays in college. That's one big fish out of the pond, makes that number one overall worth a lot. Even Trey, I mean, you saw the Trey Lance trade, and that was up to 3, not up to 1. I haven't seen a trade up to 1, I don't think, since Jared Goff, right?
Carson, I know Carson. No,
he wasn't 1 though.
Oh, he wasn't. He was 2. Yeah, no, it would be Jared Goff.
And they paid out the ass for that. And inflation, you know how things go right now. I bet you it costs at least 2 firsts in addition to the 1 this year.
I bet Indiana does it.
I bet they do. I mean, and that's the thing. When you're Houston, you're sitting there. Don't get silly. Don't be one of those dumbass teams that trade up to 1. Don't do it. You just got to take it as it falls. We are where we are now. That was a stupid fucking win. We shouldn't have done it. Why wouldn't we? That's kind of what I thought when I thought, huh?
Levy knew he was about to get fired.
I think so too. But that's the most Houston Texans thing we could have done is win the one game that no one wanted us to win. I mean, what a way to end the season. Huh?
Jets in 2020.
Yeah, it's so fucking stupid. But I think if you miss on Bryce Young, you go Will Anderson, you don't look back. 12, say something happens, Levis is available at 12, maybe that's a thing. I don't think he will be there at 12, but and then you start looking at, hey, maybe we take Anthony Richardson at the 201 or 202, whatever.
Yes.
You got a lot of options. There's no reason to overreact. Casario, call me. We could talk about it. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I'd love to have Bryce Young, and I think there's definitely an opportunity for that to still happen at 2. If that pick doesn't get traded. If they go in Will Anderson, good for them. If they trade that pick, fucking we take Will Anderson.
Do you think Arizona is going to be redeemable?
They've got a lot of holes, man. I don't think that's everybody likes to think that's a good, easy takeover. That's going to be a rebuild as well. Just you already have a franchise quarterback. You trade DeAndre Hopkins, what the fuck else do you have left? An old, busted James Conner and a couple of decent defensive backs? Like, I don't know, man. Like, they're not as easy of a rebuild as you think. I'd rather coach Carolina personally.
Yeah. Here's where I'm sold on Arizona being a decent job is since Kyler's hurt, you have a year to, if you get a guy like Sean Payton or just an established NFL coach that's like worth a shit. You have a year to establish your culture, a year to establish your system. You'll probably get a good pick next year. So Marvin Harrison Jr. ? You have the time to lay an infrastructure and hopefully fill enough holes that when Kyler comes back, you'll be good. But there needs to be an adult in the room with Kyler. I'm not sold on Kyler personally yet. I could see it. It's like 50-50. It could be a positive job or a negative job. I think it'll be really telling who they hire, what direction it's going to go.
Yeah, I think, and here's my question is the college to NFL pipeline closed now? Can we finally shut that fucking door?
It should.
It should be. I mean, the success rate is just real fucking low. I mean, you may not like Pete Carroll, but I'd say Pete Carroll was a success.
Yep, he is Super Bowl, and he has an over 500 win percentage. I don't love Pete Carroll, but he does a good job. I mean, in Seattle, he's done.
And I mean, I don't know. I want to say Jim Harbaugh was a straight to NFL head coach, and he had success. But think of all the others. I can't think of another one off the top of my head that went straight from one to the other. So I think it's time we close that door. Because I mean, did you see the numbers on what Carolina owes Matt Rule? Shit ass load of money.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. A lot of money. And that was just silly from the start. I mean, if you're going to jump a guy like that, you don't cripple yourself with his contract.
No, yeah, I wasn't sure about the Matt Rule thing when it happened, but yeah, the college to pro pipeline should be done. I could see Ryan Day, maybe either of the Rileys, Lincoln or Garrett, and that's about it. And that's about the only three that I'd want to see in the pro game. Everyone else, take it or leave it. Don't really care. Carolina. We just segue over to them.
Quarterback away from a serious situation, you know.
Quarterback away from being a serious contender, but are they also are they just stuck where they're at? Are they perpetually a 7-10 to 8-9 team?
I think their coaching hire is going to have a lot to do with that. 7-9 with Sam Darnold's, fucking 11-6 with someone else. So that's kind of the way I see it. And that division isn't hard to win right now. I mean, it wouldn't take. Didn't they win it sub 500? I mean,
no, I think they were 9-8.
Okay. I'm just saying, like that division is ready for someone to step up and take it. And the O line's good in Carolina. They made Deontay Foreman look like a superstar some games. Defense has a lot of playmakers on it. They got a good, receiving core. They just need a quarterback, and I think they're in a different spot.
I lied. Tampa was 8-9.
I thought they were sub 500. Yeah.
Wow, Carolina was a game away from winning that. Maybe, yeah, with the right hire, I like Derek Carr there. If they can get a guy like him there, I feel like they're at least a playoff team.
They're probably sick of doing the Indianapolis bullshit and just recycling shitty quarterback. I've got to imagine the feelings are mutual there. They want to go get a guy that's going to be a guy for them for more than 6 months.
Yep. Where's DeAndre Hopkins going?
He could be a good addition to a lot of teams. They got him they stole him away from us. They should have done prison time for that trade. And I bet you they could go out and still get a 2nd round pick today.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet they get a late first.
Yeah. Depending on the team, you couldn't tell me a roster that he wouldn't go in and immediately make it better. I don't care how good, maybe not your teams that are loaded like Cincinnati, Miami, those guys with just absolute stars at wide receiver, but any team that has one or less, you couldn't say he wouldn't fit well. So, if I'm a Chicago, definitely. If I was Chicago, I'd give up a 2nd today, and see what happens. Shit, man. Baltimore's one that comes to mind. There's a lot of places he would go, and I'm a big DeAndre Hopkins fan. I watched a lot of Hopkins in my Texans fan career, and gotta love the guy. He might be juicing. I don't know, but
I want him to go to Kansas City.
Oh, that's just not even fair.
It's not that much. If I remember right, they have 2 firsts. So they could give up one of their late ones, get him, and still have one. That's what I want to see. Did Aaron Rodgers, okay, I don't think he's played his last game, but has he played his last game in the green and yellow?
So here's the funny thing that just drives me nuts about the internet. I know I've gone on this rant before. These guys have 2 choices when they don't want to play for a team. Try to get traded or fucking retire. The team does not have to honor a trade request. And so Aaron Rodgers is in a predicament where he can try to get traded. I can't see a trade where Green Bay is going to feel like they're getting back adequate value for a guy that's done what he has for their organization. But they've also got to realize he's 39.
Yep.
I think. So I'd like to see him go, to a team like the Jets. I think asking a 1st round is irresponsible in my mind. paying a first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers at 39 years old seems irresponsible in my mind. Someone will do it. I know they will.
Someone will do it.
And that's what I think bothers me is he's like, it worked out with Tom Brady when they went out, but they got him in free agency, so they weren't really losing anything.
Yeah.
It's different when you're having to mortgage your future for a maybe. And I love Aaron Rodgers. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan, but there's quite a few situations that don't make sense. Do I think Las Vegas is a quarterback away from a championship? No. Do I think I like the Jets fit just because I think they're closer than Las Vegas, but man, now San Francisco, that's something I'd like to see. That's just.
I didn't think about San Francisco. Yeah.
That's a cheat code right there.
4 already. So he's system. I would like to see Aaron with CMC, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. I don't know. That's a 15-win team. Yeah, I like that. I didn't think about that. You have to feel like if you're contending at the level that San Francisco is at this point, you just say fuck it and do it. If that's all, if it's
what the Rams did.
Yeah, if it's late first, what if it's Trey Lance for Aaron Rodgers?
I couldn't see them doing that because someone in that office is going to have to admit they were wrong.
Yeah, I think they just give up the pick first.
I think they give up the pick, and then the thought is get Aaron for 2 years, let him fix whatever the fuck's wrong with Trey Lance, and then hopefully be in a better situation. That's the only way I could see them thinking in that. I don't see him trading Trey Lance given what they had to give up to get him.
Aaron might be a good mentor. They could do ayahuasca together. Enter the spirit.
Yeah.
Right, so, real quick, we are almost to the playoffs. We're going to look back a little bit. Austin Eckler was the fucking RB1 again. Is he going to do this ever again in his career?
Man, I have to imagine I know they made the playoffs, but they've got to be looking elsewhere for an offensive coordinator after the season. They're going to go get spanked by Jacksonville. I think they're out. It was such a predictable offense, and that's what I don't get. I mean, his touch rate was insane. I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was absolutely what they did to Herbert this year was depressing. I mean, the offense is so predictable. I'm telling you, I said it before, double fucking Eckler, and they wouldn't know what to do because that is their whole fucking game plan. Yes. And a lot of times it works. I know the guy had like 20 touchdowns, but it wasn't hard to fucking guess what they were going to do. I love Eckler. Eckler is a player. He's great. Very surprised to read he was only like 27 because he looks about 47.
I thought he was 30.
No, he's younger than I am.
Oh, yeah.
That's sad, but yeah, he's younger than I am. So is Zeke. Yeah, I'm getting there.
Does Cooper Kupp ever have another top 3 wide receiver season? He's gone.
I think it's possible. I don't think top 3. I think he pretty firmly is top 10. As long as Stafford's around. Huh?
Is he quarterback proof?
No, because he wasn't. I mean, unless something drastically changed for him, he had okay years, but you guys got to realize he was at that Hunter Renfrow status prior to Matt Stafford. Like he had good games, he had a decent season or two, but nothing that was going to make you run to the draft boards and go get him in the first round.
Yeah, he was solid. Yeah.
Like I had him 1 year, he had a decent season, had him the next season, he had a shitty season, and he was just kind of one of those guys prior to his breakout year where I was like, if I get him, cool. If I don't, it doesn't bother me.
So there are 2 teams that had 2 wide receivers finish in the top 12 in points per game. What are the 2 teams?
Dolphins and Bengals.
Dolphins and Bengals, yep. Do you think T. Higgins is T. Higgins a yearly wide receiver one lock?
As long as Burrow plays, yes.
Yeah, I was low on Burrow going into the year, and he just absolutely obliterated my expectations. That guy is definitely.
I love that. Love that guy's interviews, man, because someone asked him, what do they say? What do you feel like is the Bengals championship window? And he's just like, my whole career.
Yeah, yeah.
That dude's got balls of fucking steel. I love it.
Did Lamar hurt his contract value this year?
Nope.
Yeah, I agree. It's already been proven. Is Travis Kelce gonna repeat as the tight end one next year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Tim. All right. It sucks. I want to hate him so bad. I've done it for 2 years, and I've just accepted. He's like Derrick Henry. Until he plays bad, you just got to go with it. Like, that's just going with the flow.
I just feel like if you took him 101, not mad at you.
Yeah, the people that do that, at first I was like, man, that's stupid. Why would you do that? You know he's gonna perform. And he's gonna play. He's gonna put up numbers.
Maybe you gotta ask every person who took Jonathan Taylor 101, would you rather have taken Travis Kelce 101? Yep. And you get the shit slapped out of you if you say, no, I'm good with Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, no, I concur. Does Geno Smith have another quarterback one season in him next year?
Oh man, I doubt it. I feel like he was I don't even know if he'll be quarterback one on that team next year. You know?
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's get into these playoffs. So we'll talk about each game. Then we'll talk about how we have like bracket set up, who we have to win, our predictions, all that good stuff. First game of the weekend, we have San Francisco versus Seattle. San Francisco 2-0 against Seattle. Brock Purdy will be the starting quarterback. Jimmy G and Trey Lance are out. San Francisco is 9.5-point favorites, and the over-under is 42.5. Where are you sitting here?
Everything San Francisco in that game. They're just playing out of their minds. Brock Purdy kind of seems to real quickly be the steal of the draft. And I'm not sure. I haven't decided if I think Brock Purdy's him or if I think that Shanahan's system's just that good. Yeah. I haven't decided. He shows flashes of both, in my opinion. So we'll shelve that conversation for another day. But I just love what Seattle did this year. Everybody thought it was going to be Houston and Seattle that sucked. Houston did suck. Seattle didn't. I think it's a real testament to Pete Carroll being better than we thought he was. Took a guy and got to the playoff. Now, they barely squeaked into the playoffs. They needed help from Detroit. But, yeah, they're going to get absolutely fucking smoked.
Yeah, I have Seattle covering here, and here's why. They have nothing to fucking lose. And I think they're going to play like that. But San Francisco is going to win. I'm going to go ahead and I'll take over 42.5. Purdy, this offense is very easy to run if you'll listen to Kyle, and you can throw it accurately from 15 yards and in. And Purdy can do that. So I don't even think it's anything about how good he is as opposed to how good Kyle is and CMC. And I think Debo's back this weekend.
Good.
Yeah, so I don't know. All right. First real game of the weekend. Jacksonville hosting the Chargers. The Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. Over unders 47.5. I'll start with this one. I'm hammering Jacksonville home dogs. No Mike Williams. I think Trevor comes out again. They have nothing to lose. They'll be loose. They don't care what happens. They're just happy to be here. They didn't think they were going to make it this far. Give me Trevor to put up a lot of passing yards against this Chargers defense. Brandon Staley's probably going to get fired after this weekend. I'm going over 47.5. Jacksonville did beat the Chargers 38-10 in week 3. A lot's changed since then, but I do want to make note they did beat them already once.
They did. And here's the thing that I've noticed about, and I, I don't watch the Jaguars religiously. Division rival. I want to hate them. I don't. That's the problem. They seem to play different football in the fourth quarter. They seem to be just the average, regular old Jaguars, and then fourth quarter rolls around and Trevor Lawrence just becomes a man among boys, which we all knew he was. We knew it was going to happen, but they do play different football in the fourth quarter. And that's kind of some Doug Peterson shit, I think. And we knew he was getting a real NFL coach. They were going to do some good things. I love this for the Jaguars. I'll take them all day long. What'd you say the spread was?
Chargers are favored by 2.5.
Fuck that, dude. That smells like an upset to me.
Oh, I took the money line hard already. I can't wait.
Fuck yeah.
Duval County. Duval.
Dirty Jacksonville, baby.
All right. Sunday, we have Buffalo versus Miami. No Tua. Poor Tua. It was a fun story. Buffalo's favored by 13.5 points. The over-under is 43.5.
That's a big-ass line for an NFL game.
In a playoff game. I'm taking Buffalo there. I don't think Miami's going to cover. Give me Buffalo minus 13.5 over 43.5. I think Buffalo's going to fucking steamroll Miami.
Yeah, and if you want to go out and place a Super Bowl bet right now, I would have no problem making it the Buffalo Bills. They kind of played uninspired football for a lot of half of the year, and then that injury to Hamlin, they look like a different football team. They do, and what happened was terrible. I don't want to condone any of that, but they have played a hell of a lot better football since that day.
Yeah, I like Buffalo. I actually put in, it was plus 700 odds. I put in a Super Bowl matchup to be Kansas City and San Francisco. I think that's almost too perfect.
That is too. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, I put it in and I was like, cool, plus 600. I'll probably go put a couple more in at the same value. That would be the plus EV thing to do.
The Chief Slayer Joe Burrow might get a hand at it.
The AFC divisional round is going to be for a long fucking time. Trevor, Mahomes, Burrow, and then Allen, or maybe Herbert. Four of those five. Have fun.
AFC loaded, and then the NFC is just aging out. Not very good quarterbacks anymore. I mean, it is a clear drop off in talent from AFC to NFC.
It's bad. It's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad for the product. Yeah, I think Buffalo's going to steamroll Miami. RIP Tua. He was fun while he lasted. I really hope he comes back, dude. I was on the Tua train. I traded him in a lot of other things for Russell Wilson and CeeDee Lamb last year, and I was really sad, but I don't know if Tua's going to really have a full career.
No, and really with his concussion situation, the first thing that comes to mind to me is, you remember Jordan Reed, Redskins tight end, who was constantly on concussion-related IR. I'd like to find that guy and see what he's like today, because I bet it's not good. I bet he has all kinds of lifetime complications. That dude was getting popped and concussed every time he came out on the field.
Yes.
So I did a Google search in the midst of all of this Tua concussion thing, and I just Googled who has the most concussions in NFL history. Would you like to take a guess at who it is? It's not Jordan Reed.
Oh, that's a good question. Is it Antonio?
Most reported. So that's a different story. Most reported concussions in NFL history.
Who is it? I'll feel dumb when you tell me that.
Jay Cutler.
I bet he faked some of those.
He might have, and he's kind of a dipshit. Like, if you watch his interviews and stuff, like he's
just cool living life. He just smokes cigarettes and drinks and hangs out.
Yeah, he's not with it as much, but yeah, and so God, and that's crazy. He had 3 this season, 2 in 1 game. Not a good place to be for Tua, young player. Definitely hit a breakout year, so to speak, for himself. They were wondering if they would trade him for Deshaun Watson last offseason, and now they're just kind of hoping they could keep rolling the Tua train. So,
yeah,
yeah, bad situation, but it happens.
Yeah, it does. Minnesota hosting the Giants. Minnesota's 3-point favorites. Minnesota beat New York by 3 in Week 16 in similar situations. Give me Minnesota -3. I'm taking the points over 48.5. I think Daniel Jones is not going to show up. But Kirk Cousins probably won't show up either. But
what time is the game?
I can see Kirk, since it's a 3 o'clock game, being okay.
Okay, so we're not quite to 7, but it's definitely not noon.
Yeah, like he's spotty in these 3 o'clock windows. We don't know. What's the corollary with Kirk Cousins in 3 o'clock games?
For me, I feel like if there was an NFC side of the bracket upset, this might be it. Do I think the Giants are a great team? No. Do I think they're coached a lot better than they really are? Yes. I think Brian DeBall, you've got to at least put him in the conversation for Coach of the Year, if not give him the damn award, because he took that fucking despair of a team from Joe Judge and made it a playoff team. Not a whole lot really changed.
Same guys.
Same fucking guys. He took Daniel Jones and
no receiver.
Unfortunately, Daniel Jones is probably going to get paid somewhere this offseason, which is really unfortunate. For
Rage contract with New York, like 3 years for $100 million.
That's just too goddamn. He's not that good.
Yeah, but if you write that correctly and have an out after 2 years, that's all right. Build up some wide receiver talent. What if Daniel Jones is baby Josh Allen and we just didn't know?
Yeah, we wanted that to happen this year, but it didn't.
Let's go look. No, keep talking. Let's go look. I'm not done.
He was a big sleeper quarterback this year in fantasy drafts. People were like, I'm going to take him late. I'm going to see what happens. I went the Justin Fields route because there was more reason to believe that Justin Fields would break out. Daniel Jones kind of did. Daniel Jones, yeah, he had like a fucking 40-point week the last week. But, man, he's just not a real life quarterback.
Are you ready? Are you ready to get smacked down by logic? Daniel Jones is the ultimate Superflex dynasty buy. He's probably worth 3 years for $100 million out after 2. This guy, he threw for 3,205 yards with fucking nobody. Ran for 707 touchdowns, 15 passing touchdowns. He only threw 4 interceptions, and he had the 30th most interceptable passes in the league. He cleaned up his major issue. You laugh, that's good. He cleaned up his issue. He has really high efficiency metrics, and this is throwing to Richie James Jr., Kenny Golladay, and my little brother. I don't think Daniel Jones is just fucked. I think that he might be a league. He might be Kirk Cousins, but mobile. He might be mobile Kirk Cousins. That's where I'm going to leave this.
Well, so you got to realize where they're at with Daniel Jones, though. They declined his 5th year, right?
Yeah,
so he's out to get bid on this. You can't tell me that they're going to put the franchise tag on him. Absolutely not. You know how much goddamn money that is?
No, I don't think they will either. But let's see. He's 25. What if he just takes a 1 year for a $35 million deal with them? I think that's fair. he gets 1 year with hopefully an improved purse of wide receiver talent to show that it's worth it. And then I think he stays in New York and does perfectly fine. I don't think he wins this game. I can see it, but I don't think it. I do think that Daniel Jones next year is a top 12 quarterback in New York.
Top what?
Top 12.
Fantasy?
Uh-huh.
I think so. Yeah, it is. It's just purely because he can run.
He's a very good runner of the football, even though he's white.
Yeah.
He looks slower than he is.
Yeah, he's got some legs on him. I guess I could agree with that. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's just going to kind of depend on the draft, and they really need some receiver help. And yeah, maybe they just see what happens, run it back.
They do need receiver help. They're throwing to fucking nobody. But Minnesota -3 is that where you're taking to? Or are you taking New York to cover? I want it on record. We can go back and judge this.
I think I'll take New York to cover. That's going to be my long shot this week.
Cincinnati -8.5 versus Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore. I think if anything, Lamar not playing has helped his value because they have sucked. Mm-hmm. They've been bad. I think it's only helped. I think it's only improved the case that Lamar is that dude. He deserves to be paid as such. Give me the points. -8.5. This is boring, but I'm taking it. Over 40.5. Cincinnati's 7-0 since week 10. I think they're out for blood. And people forget, because we don't talk about this, they scored in the first drive against Buffalo. They were ready to go.
Yep. Yeah, they're a hot team, man. They got a lot of things going well for them, and Baltimore really doesn't. Not only is Lamar not playing, I don't think Huntley's playing either, which, we've come to find out this year that he's kind of not even really.
He might play. He practiced today.
Oh. Well, still, I mean, also found out this year that he's really not a formidable. Like he'll get you through a drive or two, but as a regular starter, he's not him.
Which is not good.
He's like busted ass. You put Lamar in hurt, you probably get better results. I don't know. That's kind of the way I'm going with it. Yeah, I'm good. I'm taking all the Cincinnati I can get this week.
All right. So Monday, last game. This is my favorite one. Tampa Bay is going to win. Dallas is 2.5-point favorites. Give me the home dogs in Tampa Bay. Over 45.5 points. Brady's last game in the building. Dallas came off that bad loss last week. I think Jerry's about ready to blow that shit up. I think he's ready to break the bank for Sean Payton. I'm being real long. So give me Tampa Bay to win there. Where are we at there?
I'm going Tampa Bay. I think that one makes too much sense not to happen. One thing about Tom Brady is I think in his older age, he's really realized he's like, as long as you get to the playoffs, that's all that fucking matters. And then I think he goes out like a man possessed this week. That's a team in the NFC you got to kind of watch for. I could really easily see them making it to the NFC Championship game. Considering maybe Philly probably loses at some point, inexperience catches up with them. Yeah, Tom Brady plays different football in January.
I wouldn't want to see Tom Brady. I wouldn't want to see Tom Brady. I wouldn't want to see Kyle Shanahan.
Nope. And you know what I realized the other day? I sat and looked at some of the people who have gone through Houston. Kyle Shanahan was our offensive coordinator in 2008.
Mike McDaniel.
In 2008, Matt Schaub played the fucking year of his life. You know how many people Kyle Shanahan has got paid just by fucking working there? You know what I'm saying? Like, huh?
He got Kirk Cousins that deal. No, that's Sean McVay, but they got Kirk Cousins that deal. Kirk Cousins was cut perfectly for that type of play style.
So here's my biggest question on the Kyle Shanahan thing. Why did it take that fucking guy so long to get a head coaching job?
I think he was selective. I think he wanted a certain GM that he meshed well with. I think that he wanted a legacy job that he could stay there forever. I mean, think about the Niners. Bill Walsh was there forever. Harbaugh had a good tenure there. They're not ones to quickly recycle coaches for the most part.
Yeah, not like Houston, huh? Yeah, I got you.
So they're well ran. So I think that had a big role there. I think he was just waiting for the right one. I mean, it would be kind of like I don't know. There's not really a good comparison now with Kyle, but yeah, I think it's just being selective. All right, to finish out, let's talk about our playoff brackets. So right now, we'll go AFC, NFC, and then talk about the Super Bowl. Right now, we would have Kansas City hosting Jacksonville and Buffalo hosting Cincinnati in the divisional round in the AFC.
Ooh.
I'm probably going Kansas City. I'm going Kansas City and Buffalo to make it to the championship. That Bengals game is going to come down to who has the ball last.
Yes, but I think Buffalo sneaks that one away. I agree with you. 100. Yeah, they're gonna do it.
Kansas City or Buffalo this year? Who makes it? We're in our Steph versus LeBron phase.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. I think it comes down to whoever has the ball last, truthfully, because that seems to be how all those games go between those two. There's no wrong answer in my mind, but I'm gonna go Buffalo on that one.
I agree. I see it both ways. I like Buffalo. It's going to come down to who has the ball last. On record, let me go with, I hate to do it, but let me go with the Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. NFC side, Philly hosting Tampa Bay, and then San Francisco hosting the Vikings.
I think San Francisco beats the fucking brakes off the Vikings. Vikings just kind of seem more like pretenders to me, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Tampa Bay beats Philadelphia, bro. I'm already fucking bucket. Done.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Tom takes great pleasure this time of year to sun all the young quarterbacks that think they're better than him now. He's been doing it for years.
Fucking 6 years old. God damn.
He's been doing it for years. Literally years. Go sit down.
I agree.
I have San Francisco beating the Buccaneers.
Yeah. I think they're just too much. And then, you talk about a Buffalo or Kansas City either way versus San Francisco. I think I like the Chiefs or the Bills, whichever one make it out to probably win the whole
thing. Yeah. You want to hit on anything else? Wait, Super Bowl. We almost skipped Super Bowl. God damn it. All right, so you have the Bills and the Niners. I have the Chiefs and the Niners. I think Kyle's winning this thing.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think
he doesn't. If he plays Kansas City, he does. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think plays the Bills, he probably doesn't win.
Buffalo will run the football. Kansas City won't.
Hell no, they won't.
Who's going to
give it to Clyde? Ooh.
It's all about Jerick McKinnon. Is Jerick McKinnon going to be a guy next year?
I mean, I think so, as long as he stays there.
I think he's earned the
definitely a flex play, a boom or bust flex play, but if he stays in Kansas City, he's going to get that receiving work. Mm-hmm. He's the older version of what they wish Clyde would have been. That's all they wanted out of Clyde.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't need someone to run for 2,000 yards. They just need someone to catch the goddamn ball, and Patrick Mahomes run around like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do that. He could not fucking, like, he had flashes, but it was never sustained.
Yeah, no. R.I.P. R.I.P. Clyde. It was fun while it lasted. People drafted him over Jonathan Taylor.
And that's why you don't draft landing spot over talent. That's it, dude. I mean, that should teach you your lesson.
I don't know. It's like the Zach Wilson people. Like, what fucking possessed you to do that? I wasn't playing Dynasty at the time, but I had Jonathan Taylor as the 101 and running backs. Like, I was hip to the game there.
So we started our Dynasty League the year that Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, all them came out. And I remember who was that year? It went like Justin Fields, Trey Lance, which I understood that at the time.
Yeah.
You know, that made sense. Or no, did Trevor go first?
Trevor went first. No,
he didn't.
Went first. The 101. Najee went first.
Yep.
And then it was like Trevor, Pitts, Fields, Wilson. Wilson was like, yeah, that's roughly the order.
Yeah, and it didn't take, like, if a bunch of us fucking idiots could see that, we would rather have pretty much any other guy than Zach Wilson. The Jets should have been able to see that too. They're making just bold commitments on how they're going to fix him. I don't think they're gonna.
I think the answer is bring in Aaron or Derek Carr and Joe Brady and be done.
Yeah, I mean, I like that combination, and I think that's the way to go.
Aaron and Joe Brady with that receiving core is nasty. I hope we see it. All right, I think that's all we got. We will see you guys next week. Betting shall be fun. I'm ready to lose a lot of money. Have a good weekend, guys.